Today we're going to learn how to translate something from standard form to vertex form. And so you will need your quadratics note packet. You will need to get to page 9 and 10. And there's two foldables today that you need, and you can see what those look like here pointing to the red arrows. And you're also going to need a glue stick to glue those in. So here's the difference between standard form and vertex form. You can see that they're just written a little differently. So this is standard form, and it's written as y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And then vertex form, which we've been using a lot, is y equals a, then your parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Down below are again two examples just filled in. And this is the same parabola, just written in two different forms. So you can see that if we were to graph them, they'd be the same, but they look a lot different when written. Down below it says the benefits of vertex form is that we can read how the graph has been changed from y equals x squared. So there is a place for you to write this into your notes. So just be sure to include this information right here in your notes. So take a second to write that down. So here's the main information you need to be able to convert from standard form to vertex form. When you're looking for your a value is just in the equation. So you're just going to take this first number here to get your a value. To get your x coordinate or find your vertex, you are going to use this equation here, this negative b over 2a. And then lastly, to get your y coordinate, you're going to solve for y by using the original x coordinate in the equation. So we're just going to take it and plug it in. So here's our first example. It says write y equals x squared plus 8x plus 13 in vertex form. So again, first thing we can do, we can get our a value. So a is normally right here. There's no number there, so that tells us that our a is just a 1. The next thing we're going to do is we need to find our x value, which is going to help us find our vertex. So the first thing we do is we try to find h. And you do that by using that negative b over 2a. Just in case you forget, this right here, this second number is our b, and then our a was this first number out in front, which was a 1. So if we were to plug that in, we'd have negative b is 8 over 2 times a, which is 1. So we get negative 8 over 2. So that means that our h value is really negative 4. If we want to find k, we're going to take this x value that we just found, and we're going to plug it in everywhere we see an x. So I would have y equals negative 4 squared plus 8 times negative 4 plus 13. Remember, when you're plugging something in, you have to put it in parentheses. If you don't, you will not get the right answer. And then feel free to just type that into a calculator and have it simplify for you. And so once I get this answer into a calculator, I get negative 3. So k is negative 3. And so lastly, I just need to write that equation with everything plugged in. And so that would look like y equals, a is 1, so I don't exactly need to write that. And then I have x minus negative 4. Remember, when you have minus and negative, it's really going to be addition. And then my k is negative 3, so minus 3. So here's our second example. remember one more time, this is our vertex form. First thing I'm going to do is find my a value, and right here is a, so a is going to be 1/2. The next thing I want to do is I want to find my h. We do that by using that formula, -b over 2a. Remember, b is this second number here. A was that first number out in front. So when we plug those in, we get -2 over 2 times 1/2. 2 times 1/2 is just 1. And so my x value, or my h, is -2. The next thing I need to do is find my k. And remember, we do that by plugging in the x we just got. So we're going to plug this in to each x in the equation. So we have y equals 1/2 -2. Remember, we have to put it in parentheses when we plug it in. Plus 2 times -2 minus 4. And then again, go ahead and just type that into your calculator and simplify. When you type it in, you should get -6. So k is -6. And then lastly, rewrite your equation. And so when I do that, I have y equals a is 1/2 x minus -2, so that becomes addition. And then k is -6, so minus 6. Take a few minutes to try this one on your own, so pause the video and attempt this problem. Just a reminder, this is your equation in standard form. In vertex form. So again, when you do this problem, out in front I have my a value, and so that is really a -1. To get my h, I use -b over 2a. My b value is 6. My a value was -1. That gets me -6 over -2, and that's really just 3. So my h value is 3. Next, I find k by plugging in that x value into the original equation. Remember, you have to put it in parentheses when you plug it in. When you simplify this, you get 2, so k is 2. And lastly, you rewrite your equation. You get y equals -1. You can just put a negative instead of writing out -1. X minus 3 squared plus 2. For the practice today, you're going to complete page 10 of your notes by yourself. So complete page 10.